So damn, I wish I planted that for beginning of August. We're already here. It's the hot summer, and what are you gonna hand us?
Well, I'm gonna hand you this thing that I'm gonna hand you, and it's sitting
not a
right
hydrangea,
here.
is it? Okay.
No, do you recognize that?
Yes, I love this plant, and damn, I was gonna do that next episode. Damn it.
I stole it. All right. So this is, it's Snow on the Mountain. It is a Euphorbia marginata. I got some seeds from a friend that I threw them in the ground, and I'm pretty rubbish on seeds, and I didn't really expect anything. And one little spindly thing came up, and I don't have them growing in the right place. Let me just caveat. But I am very excited about the actual plant that is happening now in the second season. Snow on the Mountain, Smoke on the Prairie, variegated spurge. The Latin name, which is what we can all relate to, is the Euphorbia marginata. And this grows in zones 2. This is not a gardenia, Marianne. Zones 2 to 11. It is a native plant on the high plains, which I was just buzzing all over in my Conestoga wagon with my boyfriend, and we didn't even lose an axle or whatever. I took this fabulous trip, Carol, out west, and saw all kinds of things for example, the Badlands. And we went to Mount Rushmore at 5:30 in the morning, and it looked like we had rented the place out for ourselves. It was good move. If you go to Mount Rushmore, go early. Anyway, so this plant, no deer, no bunnies, no drought. And by the way, if you cut it, wash your hands because it's a euphorbia, and that'll make your eyes tell you, why did you touch me after you cut this plant? This is so painful. It's a single red stalk at the bottom for 6 inches. And I saw it coming up in a place that I knew, it's kind of shade. And this is a sun-loving plant. Grows to about 2-3 feet. And I'm like, it's going to be stretchy and looking for sun here. I'll just pre-prune it and see what happens. Pre-pruned half of it. That's kind of fun. Well, let's just do half of this. Pre-pruned half of it, saw the cuts I had made, and all of the individual plants did the same thing, which branched out above that red stalk at about 6 inches. I cannot explain why they didn't appreciate my pre-pruning, but they did the same thing. They branched out. Now they begin to form gray-green leaves about 1 inch or 2 long. And then, as the plant grows more, it begins to have an ever-increasing wide margin of white, and it goes into these flowers. You're kind of looking at sepals because the flowers are tiny. Snow on the Mountain is the apt common name, and I am loving this plant. Do you guys grow it?
Do from seed. I think seed you can get from Jolito. I know that because that's where I got mine. I feel like my cultivar is Mount Kilimanjaro. Does that ring true with you, Carol? Do you know that one?
Yeah,
that's good. I know that one. I just know the straight species.
That one apparently, because I was just doing some research online, that one apparently is a little bit taller and possibly more robust. I don't know what I have because, Carol, as you mentioned, it's good to have friends who grow plants. And I went to some plant share thingamajiggy and came home with an envelope and went, let's just throw this around and see what happens. And this happened, and I'm very happy. I think I would grow it now, waiting to hear you ladies' advice, but instead of half shade, which is definitely half shade right now, I think I would take those seeds or try to spread it around to places that are full sun and almost like, I don't know, just kind of put it in between things because it's so white, I don't know. How do you grow it, Carol?
Well, I don't have it here. I have had it in the past. I have a brother in Texas, and there I've seen it, just out in the fields. I was like, what's blooming out there? Sorry, y'all.
Don't worry.
Bad dogs. And so I've had it in the past, and I just need to get it again. It's one of those that I love because it's just a very striking plant with like zero effort.
It is zero effort. It surprises you all of a sudden in the garden. Oh, that's right. I planted that. And yesterday, Leslie, I was taking a photo of that Euphorbia against the plant that I'm going to do for Damn I Wish, which Carol gave me, which is Abelia grandiflora Canyon Creek. And the two of those against each other were just so beautiful. And as I'm taking the photo, my phone flashes up that Carol's texting me about, okay, how are we going to do this thing tomorrow? And I'm like, well, that's perfect. There you go. So yeah, terrific plant. I wish it was in a different place. It's a little bit too close to the front of the border for me. I'm going to throw some seeds up there. It's an annual, right? Or is it
It's an annual. It's an annual. I forgot to mention that. It is an annual, and it is native to North America, although not like on the East Coast, but I don't know. Some people don't get too excited about where it's a native. Native is good.
Right. Native halo on that.
Yeah.
Well,
Got that.
Carol, do you want to go next with yours?
I do, but I don't know what y'all have covered lately. So I'm gonna give you 3 options, and you tell me which one you may have not already covered.
All right.
I love the Texas star hibiscus, but I love especially the white form.
Well, let's go with that because
Yeah.
we haven't covered that, and that's a great plant.
You might want me to talk about young lady cotinus, the green smoke tree that nobody seems to plant.
Oh my God, that sounds tempting also.
And
This is
she's got
difficult.
some really good
She's
ones.
put
I'll
us
tell
in
you,
a difficult situation.
we're going to bring you back for the Plants Without Press episode, Carol. Maybe
Okay.
in about 3 months or so, 2-3 months, and in the winter when we're all just desperate for new, and we'll discuss some of those plants.
But what should you go with today?
I think she should go with high. Third. Okay.
What's the third one?
Rattlesnake master.
Oh, love that
Oh,
plant.
that's a
The
freaking great
Eryngium.
plant.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I miss that plant.
This is like Sophie's
This is
choice.
so, it's like, door number 1, door number 2. I
I mean,
think,
all 3 are heat tolerant.
I know.
Let's do number 3, actually. I was going to go hibiscus,
Right.
but don't you think rattlesnake
I mean,
master?
they're all good.
If
Yeah,
people don't
rattlesnake
grow
master.
that, they should. Yeah.
What a great plant.
All right. Let's
Do
do
it.
that.
Well, as you know, is a native, the Eryngium, and I say with a hard G, but don't trust my pronunciations.
Who
please.
knows?
But I've decided that I don't have enough silver in my garden. I've decided that a lot of the plants I really admire and the gardens I really admire, it's all about that interplay of foliage and that the silver, and it's a gentler light. I love gold plants, don't get me wrong. But the silvery plants, and then I love a vertical. I just really love some strong vertical lines in there. And it does not want to be watered. It'll take your hottest, driest site. I feel so crazy that I didn't plant it because I spotted some in the wild down in Mississippi driving back, a couple of years ago. And it was right on the roadside where I knew it was going to get mowed. So I called my niece, who's a plant geek, and I told her where it was. And so she went and dug up several, and it's like right at a stop sign where it's going to get sprayed, and planted them at her sister's house. And boy, they're just spectacular now. And I'm thinking, why didn't I? Should have, could have.
Damn, I wish.
It's one of those.
Damn, I wish. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you can grow it from seed. It probably is slow. It's not that hard to find in, nurseries that specialize in natives. And I certainly love natives. I'm just not all native. But that would be one that I would think is going to be for the sunny garden, would be one that I wish I had a lot more of. Had some, but a lot.
I just saw it paired beautifully at the Pete Oldoff Garden in Detroit at Belle Isle. It was sort of in the back, and there was an Echinopsis retro, the big globe thistle, that was white as well, which I didn't know that there were white forms of that. And so you had the large globe, and then you had the smaller little balls above it. And oh my gosh, what a pairing. Now I want both of those. That was a definite damn I wish moment.
And I love the foliage at the bottom. It's almost like it almost reminds you of an agave. It's so cool.
Under stems, I love things that move.
Yeah.
I think that should be a whole category of gardening. What are the dancers in your garden?
I had a client once who talked about that. She lived on the top of a hill and she wanted me to plant a walk. And she said, everything you choose, I want it to move in the wind. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Okay.
Yeah. Blonde Ambition is doing that right now, isn't it? The grass.
Does that work for you? It doesn't melt out at all?
Straight native. Seems to love it hot and dry.
Is that something they slapped a cultivar name on and started to make some money off?
Even though it's just the native.
It's just there because I saw Bouteloua at another garden in Michigan, actually, that's just was straight in Bouteloua. It's the other type of.
Grandma? Is that it?
I can't remember.
Half of our being gardeners is not remembering stuff in a timely fashion. Later,
so
maybe.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I remember my plant because it makes me remember you, Carol. Every time I see it, I have to laugh. Carol came to visit me. First time I met you, I think. I'd heard you speak before, but first time I met you, you came. I was having a bunch of plant people here, and you came and spent the night. And you pull out of your car this big 3-gallon Abelia and said, "You're going to have this." I was like,
Whether you like
okay.
it or not.
Give me a shovel. Sorry, you don't like. I force plant some people frequently, especially my
You
yucca
do.
eating friends. I do that.
Well, this is Abelia grandiflora Canyon Creek, and it is finally being able to come into its own in my garden because the deer nibble it. And I've been really surprised. I was actually talking to Greg Tepper this last week, and he thought Abelia was pretty deer resistant. And I was reading some literature online that said it was deer resistant, and I'm like, that is not true because what's the multicolored one? Rainbow or
Confetti, Mardi Gras.
yes, one of those. I had one of those, and it was just nibbled down to nothing until it just really couldn't throw anymore. And so was this. I mean, they'd come in, and I'd think, "Oh, this is," and then just chomp it all over the place. So this year, it is fabulous, and you are the one who can say the real specs on this and the reality of the plant tags. They say it gets to be about 3.5 feet by about 4 feet. That's almost where it is for me, a little bit smaller than that. Can I expect to have it like
Double.
that?
It's double.
Double that. Okay, we're gonna
Move some plants.
I call them the spanglers. They send out big arching branches.
Yeah.
And they spangle with their little flowers on the tips. I think of Gara as a great example of a spangler. But if you allow it to just do that, it will cover, I'd say at least 6 or 7 feet or more. And not quite that tall. Maybe it'll get 6 feet. Yeah, I would say it's 6 feet because it's, a little taller than I am, the mature specimens. But I think the unfortunate people see the big arching stems coming out and they have this tendency to cut them off because they thought it was supposed to be
guilty.
Oh no.
Yeah, don't.
I'm so guilty, Carol. I have done that. I am actually really liking the way that it looks right now from my
because you did cut it or because you didn't?
Because I did cut it, but again, it's so new in my garden. I mean, what is it? 5 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's pretty new, and it's been harassed by the deer. So
when they first shoot out, they look rude because they just look like shoots that are not supposed to be there. But give them a minute. They're going to weep.
Okay.
Just give them, they're going to go and arch down and they're going to be so graceful.
I love that. They look rude.
Okay. Well, they do. They're sort of like, well, where do you think you're going?
Coral bark maple is very guilty of that.
Yes. Coral bark maple. Yes. And I feel like it needs a little slapping in spring to sort it out a little bit. Yes. Because it gets a little off. But I didn't actually say why I love this plant. And that is because it has this beautiful copper foliage coming from the green, new foliage at the tips of the laterals, and then these beautiful soft pink flowers with scent that are perfectly proportional to the amount of foliage. I mean, it's not a big gaudy plant. It's just a beautiful plant, and it's zone 6 to 9, so not as inclusive as your zone 2, Les.
2 to 11. Woohoo!
And the butterflies love it. Don't forget.
And the butterflies love it. So it's a great one. Carol, thank you for coming and saying you're planting this. I really appreciate that because that's ballsy. Give someone a big old shrub and say, put this in your garden.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I did it.